Welcome back to Fox Racing PlayStation. Welcome back to Long Beach Transatlantic Cup Round 4 Race 2. This is race number 8 out of 10 in this season. And what a race we had in race 1. Kev Allen won from Scott Davely and Diogo Almeida with multiple incidents. A bit of a wild race, especially the first couple of laps, delaying a number of other drivers, including championship leader Diogo Silva, including championship second place man Darren Head, and Dale Taylor, Simon Allen. Everyone was delayed by various incidents, but let's see how race 2 is going to shape up, and if we'll have perhaps fewer incidents. And Dale Taylor, what a lap in qualifying, and he is starting on pole position from Diogo Silva. Second row is Scott Davely, again very nicely qualified very nicely there in third place, and Darren Head in fourth. Then is an all-Portuguese third row with Diogo Almeida and Jorge Jesus. Then it's Kev Allen and Simon Allen, and all Allen fourth row with race 1 winner Kev Allen in seventh place. Fifth row is Rob Oldham and David Emge, and the sixth row is Jumbo and Wayne Robinson. We are about to go green here, and we will do a slightly different view of the start with Diogo Almeida, who is in fifth place. And that nicely done there by Darren Head. Diogo Silva again with a poor start, trying to defend from Scott Davely, but Scott is going to go. And look at Darren Head. Scott Davely is ahead as well of Diogo Silva. Look at that, absolutely brilliant stuff. Darren Head up into second. Now here comes Diogo Almeida on Diogo Silva. Diogo and Diogo into turn one as Dale Taylor retains the lead, and Diogo Almeida is going to go on the outside, and nicely done there. A bit of contact there. The contact. And carnage. Again carnage as Darren Head is hit by Scott Davely. And look at this, Diogo Almeida, Diogo Silva again side by side there. But and 3-1. Oh dear. We'll get a replay of what just happened, as again a bit more carnage. Now Diogo Almeida on the outside there of Diogo Silva. Now we're going to the fountain, a bit of contact there with Diogo Silva, but then a bit of a concertina effect. That's a snooker move there, as Scott Davely got a bit delayed. Now the problem is that 3 wide in this is not going to work, and that was Jorge Jesus in the middle. I'm not sure who was the driver. I think it was Wayne Robinson or David Emge. I'm not sure. It was a yellow car. It was David Emge. As let's see this effect with Wayne Robinson running in 12th. Now there's a bit of a mess there with also Jorge Jesus. What happened to Jorge Jesus? He was spinning, but it was the concertina effect. Jorge Jesus was there in the middle of the pack. He's trying to go around Simon Allen, and a bit of contact between the two, and he's behind Kev Allen, and Simon Allen and George collided there. Reset button, and now there's going to be the second phase of this. It was Jumbo. Look at that, it looks like a traffic jam as Jumbo and Diogo Almeida and David Emge, and they all end up colliding that 3 wide. Someone else has it's Rob Oldham. It's Rob Oldham. Oh dear, what happened to Rob Oldham? He's now last, and again this is a bit of a carbon copy of what we saw in the first race, a combination of collisions, and this one is just Rob Oldham on his own. And well, net, what has happened here is that Dale Taylor is in the lead of this race, a bit what Kev Allen has done in race 1. Basically, Dale Taylor has opened a gap already of 3 seconds from Darren Head, and behind Darren we've got quite a nice little group consisting of Simon Allen up into third place. Fourth is Scott Davely, fifth is Diogo Silva, sixth is Kev Allen, and seventh is David Emge. Jumbo is in 8th, Jorge Jesus up into 9th. Wayne Robinson in 10th, and then is Rob Oldham, who has spun, and Diogo Almeida, who has had a couple of incidents after a pretty good start. He's sitting in last, but he does have still 13 laps to recover, as the most interesting battle is now, well, this nice little group that is second place and below. Let's look at other groups. This is 7th place man David Emge, then is Jumbo and Jorge Jesus. Jorge is in 8th place, Jumbo in 9th, then is Wayne Robinson, and finally we have Rob Oldham and Diogo Almeida. Diogo Almeida already 5 seconds from 11th spot, but still has a bit of time to recover. Let's go back to the battle for second place. We have well, not exactly wheel-to-wheel battle here, as Darren Head is also a few car lengths ahead of Simon Allen. Then it's Scott Davely, Diogo Silva and Kev Allen, but everyone has calmed down a little bit. Scott Davely hits the wall. Fortunately, no damage in the Old Fox Racing PlayStation. Simon Allen in 3rd spot. Scott Davely is starting to become a bit under pressure from Diogo Silva. Let's move to that battle. And Darren Head under pressure from Simon Allen. In fact, let's go with Darren Head and Simon Allen, because something may be about to happen here as they go nose to tail into turn 1. We are on lap 3 out of 14. This is race 2, round 4 of the Transatlantic Cup. We are at Long Beach. Race 1 winner Kev Allen is in 6th place. Second place man Scott Davely is in 4th place. And Diogo Almeida, who was on the podium in race 1, is sitting dead last in 12th spot. So things not going according to plan for some of the drivers that did well in race 1. Now Dale Taylor is absolutely and brilliantly opening a gap of almost 3 seconds from Darren Head. So a comfortable lead. He did not have a great race in race 1. He had a couple of problems and a spin in particular, but recovered to 7th by the checkered flag. Now he's leading race 1. Darren Head did not have a good race 1 either. He finished in 8th spot. Simon Allen finished in 6th. And Scott Davely has made a mistake there. Scott Davely has made a mistake and he's now with Diogo Silva all over him, as actually Kev Allen has lost a bit of time as well there. Has lost like 3 seconds. Not entirely sure what happened to the race 1 winner, but look at this, that's 2 very nice battles in there with Darren Head, Simon Allen, and separate battle with Diogo Silva and Scott Davely. Let's see if anything happens here in turn 1. It did not happen between the first 2 drivers, and did not happen with the other 2 drivers. Oh, and that's something. Oh, Darren Head and Simon Allen. Darren Head and Simon Allen have collided, and whoa, what on earth happened here? We'll get the view from Darren Head's perspective. I think Darren just runs wide, and then Simon nowhere to go as Darren hit the wall. We'll go and have a look at the chase camera. And whoa, well, this is unfortunate. Well, Darren was taking the racing line. Oh, but he was out of shape already, and then nowhere to go for Simon Allen and the other drivers taking avoiding action. Now they hit each other again as Darren is trying to get back into the race. Darren ends up in 6th place. And Kev Allen is up into 4th place. He has been the main beneficiary there of this incident with Diogo Silva and Scott Davely now battling for 2nd instead of battling for 4th. And I'll tell you who. Oh, and Scott is outbraking himself, and Diogo Silva up into 2nd place. Diogo Silva up into 2nd place. Scott Davely has outbraked himself, and now could be under pressure from Kev Allen. No, Kev Allen is a few car lengths behind him. lap 4 out of 14, and again a bit more reshuffling of the order, but the same man is ahead of the pack. That's the number 11, the green car of Dale Taylor. Second place man is Diogo Silva. Now the gap is 5 seconds, of course, because Darren Head, who was in second place, and Simon Allen have collided, and this led to Dale opening a bigger gap. Now these drivers remain more or less in touch with each other. Diogo Silva, Scott Davely, Kev Allen, Simon Allen and Darren Head. Jorge Jesus, let's have a look at what's happening behind this group with Jorge Jesus in 7th, running on his own. And then we've got Jumbo in 8th, David Emge in 9th, Rob Oldham in 10th. So Rob Oldham making some progress there through the field. So did Diogo Almeida, who got ahead of Wayne Robinson. As we have a nice little group here with Jumbo ahead of David Emge and Rob Oldham in 10th place. So let's continue following this battle. Let's look for other battles. That seems to be a big one here for 3rd place, as Kev Allen, the winner of race 1, is showing that he hasn't lost any pace whatsoever, and he is attacking a podium position there because he's very close to Scott Davely. Everyone just running a little bit wide there in that very critical corner, because it leads to these quite long straights, and of course with the low power car you do have to maximize the exit speed of the corner. And it seems to me that Kev Allen could be in a podium position very, very soon indeed. Nice line there by Scott Davely, getting a lot of speed out of the exit of the last corner. So this pack continues to be together, but has been somewhat reshuffled due to the incident between Darren Head and Simon Allen. Also Diogo Silva getting ahead of Scott Davely. Gap at the front 4.7 seconds as Diogo Silva does 1:30.3. That's a pretty good lap, as they've completed 5 laps now. 9 laps to go in this race through the fountain, as the Scott Davely continues to be under pressure from Kev Allen, and Darren Head is also getting closer to Darren Head is also getting closer to Simon Allen. So it's Kev Allen. Kev Allen has had a problem there. Kev Allen has had a problem. Kev Allen has not spun, but lost quite a lot of ground, and now we've got the Allens together. That number 31 has lost a little bit of speed and now hits the wall again. Here comes Simon Allen on the outside, and it's surprising the number of moves there on the outside. The Darren Head was trying to get some of this action as well. This happens as drivers get out of shape in the previous corner, and Simon Allen was trying to go on the outside. That didn't quite work, as is not really a very good overtaking spot. Now they are nose to tail in the last section of this Long Beach circuit. Lap 6, a bit of shortcutting there by Kev Allen, as they are now the 3 of them nose to tail, and Scott Davely is actually not that far behind Diogo Silva. Look at that, the gap is just 1.5 seconds, but the big battle is here with some big names of Old Folks Racing PlayStation. They are battling for 4th place, as Kev Allen continues to be ahead of Simon Allen. Kev Allen hasn't actually lost a position, but he has lost time as Simon Allen hits the wall. So does Darren Head, and well, no damage in Old Folks Racing PlayStation, and people using the wall a bit to their advantage, but that's just the way it goes. Again, Kev Allen, they're hitting the wall again. Darren Head is a little bit off of shape. Kev Allen almost hitting the tire wall there. We'll keep an eye for other battles, as Jorge Jesus is running on his own in 7th place, followed by David Emge. David Emge also under pressure from Rob Oldham. Look at this, Simon Allen again there in and there's been a bit of contact here with the wall. I suspect it was Rob Oldham. Yes, it was Rob Oldham in 9th place. Big battle there between Diogo Almeida and Jumbo as well. Diogo Almeida is and Jumbo is losing ground there. Diogo Almeida is going to be an easy pass, surely. Yes, it is. Diogo Almeida up into the top 10, so he's making his way up as we continue to go. And Kev Allen has hit the wall. And Simon Allen How did this happen? I think Simon Allen nowhere to go there. And yet another incident that Simon Allen was... Oh, and hits. Kev was already spinning. And Simon hit him and lost a bit of ground as well. Kev Allen ends up losing 2 positions. Now in 6th place, Simon Allen in 5th. And Darren Head is up into 4th place. And again we see incidents shaping up the reshuffling of the leaderboard rather than proper overtakes. A bit of an experiment in this new era of Old Fox Racing PlayStation to come to a street circuit. It should be possible to do it with a low power car, but still perhaps a little bit too many incidents as drivers well, just go a little bit over the limit. And you can see Simon Allen there again, definitely going over the limit as he hits the tire wall. And well, maybe damage would solve the problem, but also would create more problems and certainly bigger gaps between drivers. So well, not entirely sure for 2023 what the role of street circuits is in Old Fox Racing PlayStation. Let's go back to the race leader, and lap 8 already for Dale Taylor, about to enter lap 9, so 6 laps to go in this race. 2nd place man is Diogo Silva, 3rd place man is Scott Devlin. Scott Devlin is at the moment the only driver that would be on the podium in the 2 races. Darren Head in 4th. The Allens continue to battle. Now it's Simon ahead of Kev, and this is allowing also Jorge Jesus to come into play, as a couple of incidents have delayed the Allens. One incident between Simon Allen and Darren Head, the other between Simon Allen and Kev Allen. So we'll keep an eye on that gap as well. At the moment Kev is still ahead of George by around 4 seconds, but that gap could go down quickly if there is another incident. Let's look for other battles, as Diogo Almeida is now recovering very nicely indeed. He's up into 8th spot. He's gone ahead of David Emge, and Rob Oldham has also lost. Rob Oldham is not having the race that he wanted after the top 5 in race 1. He's sitting in 11th spot with Wayne Robinson in 12th, but Rob Oldham has lost more ground, and we will do a quick rewind to find out if we can see what happened to Rob Oldham, because he certainly was, for example, ahead of Diogo Almeida. And ooh, and this is what happened. Yes, this is what happened. Did he have any help? It seems to me he was trying to go ahead of David Emge on the inside there, and what's going to happen is that and multiple contact, and and pretty much, well, he was hit by pretty much everyone. Let's look at this from David's perspective, and quite a lot of bumping going on there, but we'll get back. Now David Emge is in 8th place. He's under pressure from Rob Oldham. He did not have a good exit there, so he lost a lot of speed in this straight. Now Rob Oldham is going to turn up right here. Ooh, a bit of a late move, and Rob braked in time, but collision there with David, and then pretty much running for the exit as Diogo Almeida and David collide. And again, Jumbo, well, I think pretty much everyone collided with everyone in all possible combinations between these 4 drivers. Diogo Almeida, David Emge, Jumbo and Rob Oldham. I think that pretty much everyone hit everyone. The net result is that Diogo Almeida is up into 8th, David Emge in 9th, 10th is Jumbo, and 11th is Rob Oldham. As we are on the lookout for battles, and it seems to me that the Allens continue to potentially provide the best chance of entertainment, as they are very close to one another. And they are opening up the gap to from Jorge Jesus in 7th spot. Lap 9 out of 14, the gap Look at this, the top two have done exactly the same lap time, 1:38.91 to the thousandth of a second. Let's go here now on this lap, 1:30.823 for Dale Taylor, and Diogo Silva 1:37.51. He recovered a tenth of a second, but very tight at the top with drivers making, oh look at Darren Head, 1:29.648, and that for race pace is absolutely brilliant. Let's go back and see where is Darren compared to Scott. Darren having a very strong race here compared to race one. Certainly has got the pace. He was in second place. He has made just one mistake. Unfortunately, that mistake dropped him from second to fourth, but he's trying to recover that podium now. We'll keep an eye on the Allens as they are there at the back. At Simon Allen. Did Simon Allen just make a mistake? No. Sorry, that was just an optical illusion. As we have 4 laps to go at the line. And Darren Head seems to be stronger at this point of the race. Now tire wear is surely going to be a problem from now on, as Kev Allen has lost a bit of ground. He's a second behind Simon Allen. Simon Allen a little bit more stable there in 5th spot. Then is Jorge Jesus and Ducati Diogo Almeida. He's 15 seconds from 7th place, as he has been delayed by a couple of incidents. In fact, pretty much everyone from 8th to 12th has been delayed by something, as Scott Davley continues to recover, or continues to defend that podium position from Darren Head. There's going to be 3 laps to go at the line, and Darren Head almost hitting the wall there, but not quite. Scott Davley doing a great job there defending that 3rd place. Diogo Silva is long gone. He is almost 4 seconds, well 3.5 seconds ahead of this pair. So Diogo Silva is oh, Darren Head hits the wall but doesn't lose a lot of time, as we can see Kev Allen there with something missing on the front of that Ginetta. That's just visual damage, is not performance impacting, as he spun in the last corner into the wall and then was hit by Simon Allen as well. But now is going to be 3 laps to go at the line. In fact, the leader is already almost completing the lap, and we'll keep an eye. Oh, look at that, they have done the same time again, 1:36.04 for both Dale Taylor and Diogo Silva. And again, the second lap where they do the exact same time to the... Oh, look at Dale Taylor. He's been upping the pace, 1:29.864, and Diogo Silva 1:30.0. So definitely Dale Taylor getting a tenth back there, as Scott Davley actually now has opened the gap from Darren Head. 3rd and 4th. Then is the Allens, 5th and 6th. Oh, and look at this. Kev is back into contention, and Kevin Allen is going in. Oh, and does he stop? No, he does not stop. And in fact, he's lost quite a lot of time and loses a position to Jorge Jesus. We get a replay from the chase camera, and Kev was, well, generally had a run on the inside, but braking just a little bit too late, and now he's going to hit the wall. This has happened in real life. Reset button, good use of the reset button, but still you can see that in an incident like this he still loses 3 or 4 seconds and ends up losing a position to Jorge Jesus. Jorge Jesus up into 6th place. And then look at the battle there for 9th now between German and Rob Oldham. David Demge has been losing ground. He's down into 11th. Lap 12 already for the leader, as Darren Head is going to have another go at almost contact there between Darren Head and Scott Davley. And neither driver seems to have good tires at this point, but Scott doing a good job there defending from Darren. Just a couple of laps to go, and the race leader is now just managing the gap. The gap has gone down a little bit. Oh, and oh, that's tricky to overtake in the last corner. As Darren had just found out, it was a bit of a late move. Could have worked. Now, Dale Taylor has had a poor lap, 132.0. Diogo Silva, 130.5. The gap has gone down to 3.5 seconds. Just a couple of laps to go. This is the smallest gap we've seen in a while, but just a couple of laps to go. This is just Dale Taylor most likely just controlling this race. Is going to be his first win of the season as well. We're going to have yet another winner. We had John Scott, we had Diogo Silva, we had Darren Head, we had Kev Allen, and now we're going to have Dale Taylor. Just one more lap to go. 5 winners in a, oh, and Scott Davis, oh, they hit each other. Oh! Well, I'm not entirely sure how to read this, but we'll get a replay from Darren's perspective, because this was a very weird incident indeed, and I'm not entirely sure how it started, as Darren was behind. Scott is not in the ideal line. Darren is in the ideal line. Now Scott, well, who hit who first? I think Scott hit the wall first and then hit Darren. Darren had nowhere to go, and then they both spin, but Darren luckily ends up in the right direction. The question is, where is Scott Davely and where is Jorge Jesus as well? Jorge Jesus is now challenging for... Oh, Simon Allen has had a problem. Simon Allen has also lost the position to Jorge Jesus, and this happened with Kev before. And are we about to see the first real move of this race that's not driven by an incident? Maybe. Well, it happened a while ago as and well, it has been driven by an incident as Simon Allen hits the wall and ends up not losing a huge amount of time. But look at Jorge Jesus. He's going to turn up. Surely he's going to turn up either on the left or on the right. He's going to turn up on the left with more momentum, and Simon has to give him space. And well, disaster for a couple of drivers. The Allens looked very strong at one point. Now they're running 6th and 7th. As also there is more battle here between Rob Oldham and Jumbo. Jumbo on the inside of Rob Oldham trying to protect the position, but Rob Oldham is coming back at him on the outside, and Jumbo on the inside. And these guys also continue to battle as Dale Taylor is about to start the last lap of the race. And we'll go trackside with him as he is, well, not really. Well, who's that? That's Wade Robinson has gone a lap down. 3.3, 3.0 is the gap. I believe this is just Dale controlling the gap, as Diogo Silva is also going to put Wade Robinson a lap down. And almost a bit of contact there. Darren Head in 3rd. 4th is Scott Davely, and look at this, 5th is Jorge Jesus, and the Allens are trying to salvage something from this race. And look at this, they're coming with a lot more momentum. Here comes Simon Allen on the inside of Jorge Jesus, and this is the first real move we've seen in a while that's not driven by any incident. Yes, Simon Allen is ahead of Jorge Jesus. Simon Allen up into 5th place as Jorge seems to have a bit more tire wear now. Here comes Kev Allen as well. That number 22 doesn't seem to have a lot of grip at this point, as that's Darren Head and Scott Davely ahead of them. And these drivers actually are still quite together, as it were, as Darren Head, Scott Davely 3rd and 4th. They actually not opened the big gap from this trio. Simon Allen going defensive into turn 1, but Jorge Jesus surely is too far behind. One more lap to go, and Kev Allen is having ideas there as well, as we see battles up into the last lap of the race. Now Dale Taylor, oh look at that, Jorge Jesus has hit the wall, and Kev Allen is surely going to... Oh, and Simon Allen has had a problem. Simon Allen has had a problem. And look at this. Driver's coming with more momentum. Simon Allen still holds on to it. Dale Taylor is about to win the race, but we will follow this battle surely. Dale Taylor is going to win, but we will have now Simon Allen, George Jesus, and Kev Allen. As Dale Taylor crosses the line, checkered flag, he's going to win it, yes. Diogo Silva second, third is Darren Head, fourth is going to be Scott Davely, but who is going to be fifth? Simon Allen, ahead of George Jesus, ahead of Kev Allen, one more corner to go. And is anyone going to dive there? No is the answer. Oh, look at this, Kev Allen, yes, Kev Allen is going to do it. No, photo finish. George Jesus is still ahead, and he finishes 5th, 6th, and Kev Allen finishes 7th. 8th is going to be Diogo Almeida. After a couple of incidents delayed him, he ends up recovering to be, well, the first of the drivers that were delayed by, well, had long delays. Rob Oldham ends up going ahead of Jumbo, and Jumbo is trying to hold on to that 10th place because David Emge is having a late challenge. He's going one more corner to go to get into that top 10, and he's not going to do it, as Jumbo is going to finish in 10th and David Emge in 11th. What an exciting race we had again here at Long Beach. That concludes our coverage from round 4 here at the Liberator channel. Dale Taylor, Diogo Silva, and Darren Head. We have a totally different podium from race 1, and now we have one more round to go. We'll see you in Sonoma.